Well, good morning, everybody out there in TikTok land, Facebook world, YouTube, anywhere there's going to be a clip of this, be it a recorded version or a live version. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And today I had to get my mind right for this show, to say the least. But good morning out there, everybody that is showing up. Casey, welcome to the broadcast booth. We should have Roy here potentially. I don't know if he's asleep or actually not. I know he hit me up a little bit ago, but we'll see. But welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Today's title is Disappointed. And that's why I had to get my mind right for today's show. I put out a call for help. Not for me, but for my 84-year-old disabled mother, grandmother, my mother, but she is a grandmother multiple times over, who luckily wasn't in the room when it happened, but her ceiling in the front room decided to collapse. And I've had one person that was going to get stuff anyway go ahead and send money for help. Because what I was doing was raising funds for her to help offset the cost of the supplies it's going to need to repair her ceiling. All the posts have been viewed, all the posts have been liked, condolences sent, but that's it. No one's taken me up on the offer of discounted artwork. No one's taken me up on the offer of the stuff I've got up available. And there's those of us that have talked about things. And, you know, I know where some people stand. And that's cool. That's it's totally fine and I get it. But then there's others that I know that are on my friends list that could have bought four original pieces already and helped out the situation, but never did. So that's why I'm disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed in the human race because I'm not a girl shaking her tits and ass on the internet and saying, "Oh, I'm about to be kicked out of my house or apartment or whatever, and I need the funds," and then boom, thank you, thank you, Casey. Yeah, I figured if I'm gonna have black light pictures back there, I might as well have a black light hung. And because you see that all the time, you see those women out there shaking their tits and ass, sending out pictures and stuff like that. That the guys are dropping their dimes on. But yet, an 84-year-old mother in bad health walks with a walker. Had she been in the same room as the incident of the ceiling falling, she'd probably still be under it today and nobody would know it. So that's why I'm disappointed in the human race at this point in time. Not because of everything else that's going on in the world, but you see it all the time. You see, young. Hello, ballerina. We're talking about some pretty heavy stuff this morning. You see the young females that are begging for, I don't want to get kicked out of my apartment. I need this, I need that. And men and some women just drop the money. Just start throwing it to their Venmo, start throwing it to their Cash App, start throwing it to their PayPal or whatever other cash service they have. But the call for an 84-year-old mother, bad health, walks with a walker, can't lift her arm above her head to save her life. I put out a call for help on that. I get likes and condolences. And like I said, the one person that did go ahead and drop their money for the books that they were going to go ahead and go get already. Um, and I appreciate them greatly, and I appreciate the ones that have talked to me. Um, Knowing their situation, but knowing other people's situations as well. And I'm just disappointed with the human race. Because why is it that these women get all the attention, get all the fanfare, get all of the money? Because you're just that desperate to interact with a female that doesn't even care about you, to interact with a female for 5 minutes on OF that could care less other than she wants your money. It makes no sense to me how ass backwards the world is when it comes to shit like this. Well, that's cool. Enjoy that. Why don't you go driving too? On your bicycle. Because my sister was killed by a drunk driver back in 2008. So, congratulations for you drinking on probation. You jackass. And so, this world is so ass backwards when it comes to certain things. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you wouldn't drive. That's awesome. But you shouldn't be drinking on probation either. And so, I've just been weighing it all in my head. Yeah, I'm going to my reunion today for the military. And, I am going to be setting up quite a few things. I've already got some stuff sold for that, but that was already sold prior to this whole incident of me trying to help my mother, offset some cost of new sheetrock, of new, screws, of new patching material, because there's going to be a little bit of work that has to be done. And I say a little bit, it's quite a bit, actually. She almost lost her entire ceiling, you know. And so I'm heading up there after the military reunion. Yeah, it was a rough 3 year stretch there, ballerina. Because 2008, my sister was killed by a drunk driver. 2009, my son died, and then 2010, my father figure and my grandfather passed away. So less than 3 years apart, boom, 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 one right after the other. And it was a sucky 3 years. That's why I put up the prevention hotline on my recording that goes out on Facebook and YouTube, because I was at the lowest point in my entire life in those 3 years, especially in 2009. Because not only was I going through a divorce in 2009, then my son ends up dying due to an ATV accident, and I saw humanity's backside then too in those 3 years. But just After this happened, I put up posts. Good morning, Roy. And like I said, one of my reels has been seen over 600 times. Did it generate a dime? Absolutely not. So hopefully, I do see some sales once I get to the reunion, because, like I said, she's already spent a little over $2,000 to get her well pump fixed because she lives out in the country and the only water she has is the well water, which means she doesn't pay for water. So, but she still had to have that fixed. It's over $2,000. Now her ceiling fell in, and to say I'm disappointed in the human race is an understatement. I can't truly say what I want to say on TikTok, or they'll shut my show off. And like I said, about sometime this morning after the live show, I'll be heading to the military reunion, and then I'm going to set up. Right now, I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm. Uh, up until at least another couple of hours. So it should be fun. Got to go get gas before I head that way. But yeah, I have not been pleasant to be around the past couple days, and I apologize for that. Because why is it that only the females that are shaking their tits and ass are the ones that are getting the attention when it comes to people dropping their money? You know, because I even put out there, if you want to donate to the cause, and I put my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App out there. And like I said, I only had one person respond, but then I've had other people talk to me about it. Those type things. And I get situations. Trust me, I get situations, because if I could help more people, I would, but I can't. You know, and and like I said, I see it all the time, because there's certain things that I follow, certain groups and people that I follow, and I see it all the time. I see the crying, the bitching, the moaning, and then I see the people opening up their wallets and just dropping, money left and right, because you can read their whole thread, you know, and on here as well. You get the ones that have in their profile, you know where to go, you know, and you look and you see their taglines, and you see just a a Cash App tag or a Venmo tag, or whatever it is. And I can't say it's all women, but it's about 85% that I see on here, Facebook, Instagram, that have all these tags all over their profiles, and you see the lifestyle that they're living. And then you have an 84-year-old mother that is in and out of the hospital a lot. Her husband is in the hospital currently. He's my stepdad, so I don't call him dad. Um, and there's reasons for that. but yet she can't get any help. How asinine is this world? I mean, hell, she'd have a better chance in fucking China or Japan than she does here in the United States. Because the communities take care of the elderly there, not just the family. And here, if you're not shaking your tits and ass, you're not getting any help. I've got killer artwork, literally killer artwork, horror series. I'm on fucking novels, but yet I've got so much artwork sitting around here that you can't walk through my office sometimes. Like I said, 44 pieces of unfinished artwork right now. I think that was my last count. I've got quite a bit of it boxed up and ready to put in my truck for later on. So tell me why it's that way. Why is it that when a young female shaking her tits and ass bitches and moans about not having the money, even though she's on OF or on some adult site somewhere, that people just open their wallets and toss money at them? Somebody explain that to me, please. But an 84-year-old mother in bad health can't get any help. Make it make sense, please. I'll wait. Because I know guys have the same situation too that are shaking their things out there too. And they get the help as well. But you get the I can't use normal because there's no fucking way I'm normal by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't ever want to be normal because normal is boring. 100%. So I can't even think of the word I want to use that describes us regular folk. There we go. How about that? Regular folk. That, you know, make honest livings. And I'm not saying the other isn't honest living. Trust me on that. If that's how you can make your living, that's how you make your living. It doesn't bother me, period. Because I've got friends in the business, in the industry, in several different industries, trust me. And I know some of them struggle too. But I've got killer artwork ready to go to your house, go to your hands, go to your friends' houses, become birthday, Christmas, whatever presents at a discounted rate right this moment. But yet it's sitting in my hands, and that's the problem. Put out a call for help for my 84-year-old mother whose ceiling collapsed. And had she been at the wrong place at the right time, she could be under that rubble. And if anybody's ever touched sheetrock before, the shit ain't light. And I've put the stuff up by myself over my head without the little machine that presses it up against the wall, up against the ceiling tiles, or up against the ceiling joist. So make it make sense. Somebody, please tell me, make it make sense. Those of you that have been listening, make it make sense. Much appreciated for the likes, the shares, and the follows. And that's something that has happened with the post. It's been shared a few times, and I know that we're gonna make it happen. It's just that it would be cool to not have to start a GoFundMe page for her, but because of the percentage they take out, just like on Kickstarter, they take a big percentage out as well. But we'll make it happen. No, but I'm just disappointed with the human race as a whole. But on the same token, like I was talking to my stepdad's sister, how many more times of being hit over the head do you need before you change your situation? They're old. Got it. They live out in the boonies. Got it. The house needs repairs. Obviously, the ceiling collapsed. They've only lived out there since 2006 or 7 after they moved away from the trailer park that my grandpa lived in because they were taking care of him. And then they moved him into a home, and then they got their little spot out there, their little piece of paradise, if you will, on 2 acres, open land with cow town around them, basically. They're bordered by cow land, cow pastures on either side. Live on a dirt road, again, out in the middle of nowhere. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to get an ambulance from town to them. So I get they've caused some of their own misery, 100%, especially for their age, their health. But to see humanity at its finest, when you call for help and you're not a young female begging and pleading, and men and some women opening up their wallets, it's kind of disgusting, actually. Disturbing, disgusting, whatever you want to put on the tagline. Because those women don't care about you. At least with me, you drop money, you're getting something in return. That's real. That's appreciated. It's basically comes down to, oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't have any limitations for myself, but I know I do because I know there's certain things that I can't do personally. I will give it a shot, 100%. But yes, at their age and the the eras they've lived through from the 40s till now, again, some of you that are watching the broadcast channel would not have survived any of these eras because there was no internet. There was no, you ate what you ate off the table. Some people consider that abuse. It wasn't. Your parent isn't going to cater to pussiness, if you will, that you don't like Brussels sprouts and they're on the table. Well, don't eat the Brussels sprouts. Eat everything else. We weren't forced to eat shit like a lot of people seem to think um, of the Generation X era. If we didn't like it, we didn't eat it. Did we get griped at? Of course, especially by, you know, an overbearing stepdad. Absolutely. Did we get beat for that? Absolutely. That was the era. That was the time. We didn't have to call CCP or whatever the fuck it's called, Child Protective Services, because we knew if we fucked up, what our punishment was: a switch, a belt, a hand, whatever. We're not the pussy generation. That's why I'm disappointed with this race of today. That could help people out, but they don't. But you do see those one videos of the people that actually help and care about other people, especially the elderly people, whenever they're paying for their groceries at the grocery store. Those type things, those type situations. And it's ridiculous to me that someone that is wanting to pay for somebody else's groceries gets told they can't and gets kicked out of the store. What is this fucking generation? It makes me seriously want to jump into a time machine and go back into the 1970s. I mean, hell, right now I'm looking at other countries where the cost of living is much cheaper. Things are a lot nicer. Yeah, would it be culture shocks? Absolutely. But I've lived in another country for a year. All right. That was culture shock, especially when they're peeing and shitting on the ground. So I'm sorry for how heavy today is. I'm just pissed off. And I know I shouldn't apologize for the way people are, for a whole generation of people. But what I'll do when I get to my mom's house, absolutely. Today's generation is oblivious to anything other than themselves, unless it is unless it is rioted or unless absolutely. And I just don't understand. I mean, I don't understand why you pay for OF anyway. Yeah, rooted in lust. Yeah, and I don't get today's generation anyway. Why you're wanting to pay an OF model when you can go find that same content for free on the internet on pretty much any platform you want and not even have to drop a dime. But yet you are spending all this money on a person that could give two shits less about you. And yeah, they're going to send you content. They're going to send you pictures. They're going to send you whatever. But you know how many other people are sending that exact same content to? Those exact same pictures to? It's not exclusive to you. You buy a piece of artwork, it's going to be to you for your liking. You could commission a piece of artwork and it would be tailored for what you wanted. Just like the next book novel that I'm working on right now. It's what the author wants. That's what they're getting. It's tailored to them. They want my vision on their book cover, just like they wanted my vision on their first book cover. I can't show it here or I'll get a fucking restriction. I'm surprised I haven't got a fucking restriction already because TikTok loves their OF models. TikTok loves their adult uh, people on here because you walk. Let's using the word walk, which is scrolling with your finger through TikTok, butthole, sex acts, whatever, half naked chicks, all that good stuff. But yet it doesn't go against their guidelines. Yes, you can find camel toes on here if you really wanted to. Stop looking, Roy. All you gotta do is scroll. You can find them. You can find hard nipples on here. Just scroll a couple times. You'll find it. Now, granted, I haven't seen as much of the other blurred out images with what's going on in the background, or just looking at a woman from this point of view and telling you to go over to this website or this social media page, and you can see what's actually happening. I haven't seen that in a hot minute, which is okay with me. I know it's hurting a lot of people's feelings out there, but I can scroll through right now, or go to the little magnifying glass, the search area, and see who's live. Go to their platform and see what they're about. And 90% of them will be in a spaghetti strap T-shirt or spaghetti strap shirt, no bra, sitting in bed. You know, there's nobody acting black here. So whoever the fuck you are, you can take a step off my page. Got it? You can go find the attention you're seeking elsewhere. So yes, to say I'm disappointed in today's race right here with this idiot that's on my page now, they come on to disrupt, and all they want to find is the boot. Yeah, you can literally hear me talking in my actual voice, motherfucker. So, what's going to happen is this little number. Boom, 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 boom. And they're gone. I'm not tolerating any shit. You come on my page, you tell me to talk a specific way, well, you get my real voice, motherfucker. Go check out my other platforms. Go check out my other stuff. And yeah, he definitely left the building. He's gone, or her, or whatever the fuck they are. We can't assume anything in today's society or be labeled a bigot. But no, you don't come on my platform and tell me to speak a specific way whenever you are listening to myself. And here's another motherfucker that is going away because there is no accent. This is how I talk. So, see ya. I ain't playing today. And this is probably the same person with multiple accounts, like a dickweed. And you get those people that have 15, 20 accounts out there that just keep popping back up. And they just keep getting blocked on a regular basis. And if you think I've got an accent, you truly haven't been to the South. Go to Georgia. Listen to some of those people speak. Go to Tennessee. Listen to those people. Go to New York for a true New Yorker. I do not have an accent. So, there you go. All right. So, today's title is Disappointment. And just like those two people, disappointment right there, right off the bat. Shows the human race in itself. Shows the buttholes that show up. So again, a few days ago, my mother's ceiling collapsed in. I was looking for help. I got none. So hopefully, I can sell a few pieces here and there at the reunion today that I'll be at with my military buddies. We are at 23.8, so we're ahead of what you've got. We're almost at 24,000 likes, which is awesome. Much appreciated on that end. Um, so again, I have everything packed up and pretty much ready to put into the truck. I just have to wait till it stops raining a little bit so I can throw the stuff in there. Um, so again, hopefully I sell a few items at the reunion, the military reunion that I'm going to, and we'll go from there. Um, I know she's ready to go over and get the stuff because she did have some help cleaning up with some people that popped in from the church that she used to attend that they're still friends with, that they still talk to. And once I put out my call for help, those three people went over and helped her clean up the old, super old um, insulation, which you can see in the pictures that are posted with my stuff, with my call for help out there. You can see how bad it really was. And again, had she been at the wrong place at the right time, she might not be with us right now. Or she could be severely injured and underneath the rubble, you know, because she is at home alone right now, besides the dog. Since her husband, stepdad, is in the hospital with some ailments going on in his legs that they're trying to clear up and things like that. So, you still have the opportunity to take something off the table before it gets to the reunion. You've seen the pictures out there. I've posted pictures of the artwork in the portfolios, the blank sketch covers, the horror series and things like that are all here. That I've shown you multiple times over and over again. And any piece of artwork that I have is at a discounted rate at this particular moment. So, with all that being said, we're gonna try to lighten the mood just a little bit. Um, because I have been watching a lot of movies on Tubi and things like that. Amazon Prime here lately, the past couple days, and a lot of cool stuff. I watched a new comedy with the girlfriend. It was okay. It's a Wahlberg movie. Mark Wahlberg. I can't remember the other guy's name, but it's called Balls Up. It was okay. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, and it's just hard. It was hard to get into. I won't give you the whole premise of the movie, but they end up in Brazil, in the jungles of Brazil, and all hell breaks loose. Of course, it's a Wahlberg movie. What do you expect? But that was the first comedy that I'd watched in a while. Besides some of the horror movies that I watch that are comedic in value because they're not that great, but they have a good premise to them, and once you get into it, it's just like I'm committed to it. I'm not going to turn it off. So, but I've watched a lot of bad movies in my life here recently, especially here recently. So those type things. But got to call my therapist and tell her I won't be making some appointments because I'll be helping my mom. Um, yeah, I think the Tuesday appointment's gonna have to come off the table. Because I'll get there tonight, assess the true damage of what we need to pick up, and then we'll go from there. Um, got to get all the measurements, see what else needs to come down. Uh, if any, or if it just needs to be secured up, nice and tight. So we'll see. We'll see. Don't forget to like, share, and follow as you get here. Much appreciated for the comments, except for the idiots that decided they wanted to try and bombard the show with their special talents of keyboard warriorness. Um, appreciate people like that, 100%, absolutely. But I hope you all are having a great day so far. I know it's bright and early for some people. I know some people it's nice and late. Um, if the other person was here, she'd be what, an hour ahead of us. So she would be at 5. The one that was on last show that we were discussing uh, horror movies with, and so on and so forth. But yes, both of these pieces will be going with me back here as well. Everybody's packages are in the mail, so that's a good thing. I can tiptoe around the tulips just a little bit easier down here on the floor without all my paintings scattered around. Um, but as I am looking, I can see at least 10 different paintings that need to be completed right here, right now, that I've got started up. The other ones are in the other room, in the closet over there. So, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm sitting at about 44 pieces of artwork currently that are in the process of being made. So that's quite a few. Quite a few of them right here in pencil form. And it is how it goes. But welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great out there. We're going to go over some of these. Jason is complete and ready for his next home for the person that paid for it. We're doing a new horror series that we just kicked off, and this is the first of that, which is Ghostface right here. Then we've got Freddy, was number 2 on the list. And then Jason at number 3. Let me go ahead and grab him because he is complete. He is sealed. Not sealed, but in a protective case right here, basically. It's not very protective, but he is ready to go with certificate of authenticity on it. And then this is his other piece that he's already paid for. The Jared Leto Joker with all of his bling. So that's going at the same time. Then that was number 4 or number 3. Number 4 was Pumpkinhead, the first time ever drawing Pumpkinhead. Again, there's still some changes going in there, some veinage in the arms and legs and stuff like that. And then we've got number 5 in the list. First time drawing Candyman. Whoops. He's going to have honeybees in the blood splatter that's coming out of his mouth. That's why his mouth is exaggerated right there, because there's going to be honeybees coming out, since that is one of the ways he was tortured in the book and in the movies. All right, that takes care of those. Next up, we have the Batman Who Laughs. Most of his pencils are finished. I can start inking him up at any point in time. And then we have one of 2 Harley Quinn, the Harley Who Laughs. Again, I didn't find out about her, and I'll start out with the original version of her, from what I understand. This is what her first mask looked like. and the spikes coming out of her skin. So lots of detail going into these pieces. And I'm trying to do more background stuff in my works now. So that's not just a plain white background unless it just calls for it. This is the other mask. It is a metal like knife coming down, like teeth right here, with the teeth that are painted on or tattooed on her face or whatever. But as you see, there's no spikes coming out of her skin. It's all in the metal here. It's on her outfit and things of that nature. So they did it her two different ways, which I don't understand, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see, Mia's Wolverine, right there. This one's just ready for its color because it's based off of once I drew myself, then it was like, oh well, I posed for this and I look like this, and I'm going to turn myself into Wolverine instead of Forge like I did before, which I'll get back into that one as well. But then it was like, well, let's just make it look like the cover to Wolverine #1. So I used the same style of shirt, the same style of pants, the same background, but I just didn't put the people down around my feet, those type things. Do you remember the '90s artist that just slung paint and got thousands per picture? Had people doing it too, but out his name on it. Yeah, I remember. I can't remember who it was, but yeah. And it's just like the artist that got the $250,000 for putting a banana on the wall with a piece of duct tape. That one killed a lot of us artists. This is the hero from Sour Worlds, Calamities. Well, actually, he's actually going to be in book 2. I'm not sure what book 2 title is yet, but this is his character, Harrow. Metal wings, rusted metal wings with razor wire wrapped around his arms and coming out of his skin. And then the knot from the same book, the same novel. These will be included into one of his books later on. Not sure which one yet because I'm not done with them yet. And then, of course, the most controversial piece that I've got. The most painstaking piece that I've done to date is my Stitch Witch right here. Because in nearly 5 months, I've gotten one payment on this piece. That's the the pain of that one is that I've had to pull teeth basically to even get a first payment, and then it was only what he had left in his cash app, even though he could have already had this paid for a long time ago. But you know, it is what it is. It'll get finished when it gets finished. Um, Again, only seen one payment. It's almost complete now. There's still some background work that I want to do on it, some shadows and things like that, and then it'll be complete. But I'm not going to finish it until I get at least half the payment in, which will be, who knows, another couple months down the road. I don't know. We'll see. He supposedly gets a bonus on the 24th, so which is a few days away. So we'll see if that holds out, holds any truth or, you know, whatever to it. We'll see. So, again, I'm going to be heading to my reunion earlier this morning because it kicks off at about 10:30, 11 o'clock um, at the location that it is at. And then I'll be going directly to my mother's house from there, which is still X amount of miles away. I think it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the location that I'm going to. And I'm in Oklahoma at that point in time. So there you go. But yeah, I can't remember who that artist is that used to just sling paint on everything. And I do like the ones that sling the paint up there and start using their hands, and then they create the whole image. Those are cool too. I've done a few speed paintings like that at different places. So, you know, churches and events. But but yeah. So again, I'm packed and ready to go. Looking forward to the event, catching up with the guys to see what they've been up to. I mean, we keep in touch with each other on social media, but it's always good to see them face to face because you don't talk to everybody. Not everybody has social media out there, and so and why not? Because some people don't give a shit about social media. You know. Oh yeah, it sprouted like 2 days after I put some uh, seeds in the ground because we got some rain like the very next day, and then 2 days later I go out there and check, and my cucumbers are already coming up. So, and I'll have a lot more stuff up. I took a lot of pictures the other day, yesterday I think it was, and took a lot of pictures of stuff already coming up. So I'll probably have more after today's rainstorm and the nice temperatures because it's supposed to get up to about 70 degrees today, roughly. It's 57 now, but with the light rain going on, and it's supposed to get up to. No, I haven't posted those pictures yet. Yeah, it's supposed to get some more heavy rain in about an hour. So roughly about what time is it now? 5 o'clock. So roughly about 6 o'clock, going to be getting some more heavy rain, and then it's looking like it's going to be up in the 70 degrees. So that'll be cool. Don't know what it's like in Shawnee right this moment, um, but no, I'll post those pictures here in a little while as I post my show once we're done. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry for how heavy today's show got. Just very disappointed with you know humanity as a whole, and it just shows you know. And I was kind of proving a point, and that's what I was telling a friend of mine that we were talking about. I was proving a point that since it is not on this side, people don't really give a shit. But if it was on this side and they were begging for the help, they get the wallets opened up for them. And that was the point I was trying to make with the whole post and stuff like that. Is that you know you're gonna shell out your money for somebody that's not gonna give a shit, but yet whenever somebody really needs the help, you don't give a shit because there's no tits and ass involved in it. And it's just a bass backwards world that we live in. That's why I'm saying if you were in a Asian country, the elderly get more support from the community than they do here because this younger generation is of the mindset, oh, they've lived their life, who cares, it's time for them to move on. And do I get upset at old people that are driving? Absolutely, because at a certain point in time you need your license revoked. When I get to that age, I want mine revoked, and I'm being serious. There is an age when you should not be driving anymore. Someone should be driving you to your appointments, to whatever. And my mother, in as bad a shape as she's in, she still drives herself to her appointments. And her license should be revoked. I mean, she's a great driver, don't get me wrong. But there comes a point in time when you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. And I know that takes away some independence at an older age. But I mean, hell, some 20 and 30-year-olds shouldn't be behind the wheel either. So, but welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody that has shown up. Just know I do have artwork up for grabs at this particular moment at a discounted rate to help my mother out because her ceiling collapsed. You can go check out my post, and you can see the debris and everything else that landed in her front room. Again, luckily she was in another room when it did happen, or she could be underneath the rubble and we still wouldn't know about it. Or she might not be here with us today. Things could have been a lot worse. Let's just put it that way. So I'm just trying to raise a few extra dollars to help her offset the cost that she's already put into her well house that went out. Her pump went out, so she had to have that replaced. And so I'm just trying to help offset the cost a little bit for her. And, just the whole show has been about disappointment. Disappointed in the human race, basically. So, and it's just like how disjointed people are. Excuse me. But welcome to the show. And like I said, I'll be hopefully getting out of this thunderstorm pretty soon, so I can start loading up all of the artwork into the truck for today's festivities that are happening later on. And we'll go from there. And hopefully it's not pouring down rain over there, too, because that would kind of suck. But it is what it is. Whatever happens, we'll roll with the punches. This ain't our first rodeo, and it won't be our last. So, I plan on it. It's the other people I got to worry about more than myself. Luckily, it is more back roads than it is anything else getting over there. Well, technically, it's not back roads. It's just straight interstate over there. And then getting off by the casino, and you're basically right there by the lake. So it ain't no big. It's a straight drive. So if anything happens, I'm on a main road with lots of people passing by. Won't be the first time if something happened that I've been stranded on the side of the road that people just drove on by. But I appreciate the sentiment, and it's going to be a little while before I head out. So I'll still pack up the rest of the stuff that I'm taking, my tools and stuff like that, just so that I have everything I need, or I think I need. And my brother's supposed to be showing up at some point in time. I'm not sure what time he's going to show up. I think it's tomorrow, but we will see. He's supposed to help me out with that on that endeavor. So again, we'll see on that, and we'll go from there. But yeah, no. Hopefully, we do get a little few more sales before I leave, and I can set those pieces aside on the artwork that is up for grabs right now. Again, at a discounted rate, including my paintings. So there you go. But you all have a great day. And as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.